Welcome back, my people, to the Red Rider United TV. And, we're just coming back from that incredible victory against Arsenal at the Emirates. And I'm still pumped up, because that wasn't an easy victory at all. But then, for some reason, I just feel like the universe just doesn't want United fans to stay happy for long. Because there's just been news that Patrick Dorgu is going to be out for 10 weeks after that scare against Arsenal. Obviously, Michael Carrick came out and said that, he didn't feel like it was going to be anything serious, that it's just a cramp. And I was hoping that it was, but it looks like it is actually pretty serious and it's going to be sidelined for at least 10 weeks. That's pretty much it for the season. We're not going to see Dorgu till the end of the season. I don't think we're going to see Dorgu. And it's heartbreaking and devastating because just when we're starting to enjoy this new Dorgu, this transformation that Dorgu has been going through, it just has to be short-lived, man. It had to be called short and painful. Really, really painful. Is that the price you pay for winning at the Emirates? No, I choose not to believe that because there's nothing special about that place. It's a fortress for Arsenal, but it's still like every other stadium. I think the fans is just the only reason why that place is special. Just like every other stadium. But it's honestly I don't feel happy about that news at all. Not just because he's starting to grow into a very, very key player for the squad and for the team. But I think personally for Dorgu, I think it's just not, it's a setback. Because you're starting to find his form. It's not easy to find form playing for Manchester United. It's not easy. Only a few players have been able to do it. And that shows, you have to be like a very, very, very top level of football for you to keep your form at United, because United is a very scary place to be. Bruno Fernandes had done it. Rashford was up and down. It's not easy. And I think this would have helped Dorgu into at least stamping his place in this team. Because he really needed that. Really needed that. I was being hard on him when he was playing as a left wing back for Amorim. And rightly so, he deserved it because he wasn't performing at a level that you should be as a Man United player. And, I used to call him out a lot. But ever since that Newcastle game, it's been a revelation, man. It's been the kind of transformation that this guy's gone through. And the goals he just scores it's crazy, man. The goal against Newcastle wasn't easy at all. To take that half volley and, just with all our bodies, it was straight from a corner, so there were still many bodies in the box, and he was able to find it, that angle. The goal against Man City wasn't easy at all. With all that running he had to do all throughout the game, he still had the energy to bust forward, and make that tap in. It wasn't easy because he was being marked by Lewis. It wasn't easy. And the goal against Arsenal, I don't have to say much about it. That's a Puskas Award. Oh, incredible strike by Dorgu. And, scoring against Man City and Arsenal isn't easy. So that is something to build on going into games, into less threatening opponents. And for some reason, he had to get injured. It's painful, honestly. Devastating. And we've got options. We've got options to fill out there. I'm thinking maybe going into the next game, I'd love to see Carrick keep the same energy between Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo as the number 10 and the striker. I think the most natural thing to do is to move Mbeumo to Dorgu's side and then play Koa as a number 9. But I hope for Carrick to keep that chemistry between Bruno and Umbremo. Just keep them there and then play Koa as play Koa at Dorgu's side. And if it doesn't work, you could try maybe in the game switch Umbremo back to that side and then bring Koa as a number 9. That's what I want to see. I want to see that chemistry. I want to see that flexibility between our forwards. It worked. It worked when we had Rashford, Greenwood, and Marshall. Marshall would start as a number 9, but then in the moments of the game, you would see Marshall out wide and then Rashford playing as a number 9. And sometimes you would see Greenwood switch places with Marshall. There was a little bit of fluidity between our forwards. And there was evidence because if you look at the numbers that Marshall, Rashford, and Greenwood were putting up, it was double. The numbers were, crazy. So I'd love to see that with the squad we have now. We could play Koa wide, and then, if he's having a little bit of tough time there, you could also go to players on number 9. You could switch places with Ahmad. Everybody across that front three, just switching places, make it difficult for the openers to know where you're going to be. And it's going to be difficult for the openers to, mark a specific player because they're all changing positions. I expect that to be what Carrick does. Carrick is a very smart coach. You have to be smart to beat, the league leaders and Man City, which has been the best team in the Premier League for, last 4 or 5 years. But anyways, it is devastating, honestly. Hopefully, I hope Joshua Zexi returns from injury for this Fulham game. We're going to need all hands on deck. I'm still struggling to see where he's going to fit in because now that we have options in that number 9 position, we have options. Mbeumo can play there, Koa can play there, Sesko can play there. So I'm struggling to see how Joshua Zexi actually comes into this Carrick side. But Carrick is, like I said, is a very smart coach, and I'm sure he's going to figure out a way to fit Joshua Zexi. A player with that kind of skill set has to, feature somehow. You're going to find a way to feature him in games. It all depends on Joshua Zexi. Do you really want to play for this team? Because when I've watched Joshua Zexi, so many times I've watched him play, it doesn't feel like he's part of, the doesn't feel like it's part of what we're trying to do here. It doesn't feel among. It feels left out. And I don't blame him. He hasn't really played, games where he's had a run in the team, like 4 or 5 games consistently. He's always in and out. So I will understand if he doesn't feel part of the project. But still, Koa has been left out in the last 2 games and has come on from the bench to influence the game massively. So you should have that kind of mentality, that mindset that doesn't matter if I start or not, I should be able to, do something when I come on. But anyway, that's what I just wanted to talk about today. And it's already confirmed that our owners are not going to do anything in this transfer window. So there's not going to be incomings. There's not going to be any outgoings except from Ariamas, who was loaned out to Norwich. And Ethan Whitley was called back. I'm not sure why, but it seems like it's going to be going out on loan again. So none of the senior players is going out, and there's not going to be any incomings. All our transfers is going to be done in the summer window, which is not something that, we're all happy about, but there's nothing we can do to control that. Let's just hope that the people at the top know what they're doing. But anyways, you've come to the end of the video. Please, if you're new yet, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.